Well, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate you joining us here for our second installment of our financial webinar. Today, we're going to start off with, as promised, Slavic 401k, a review of the enrollment process, the online process for enrolling into Slavic 401k for our employees. And then I'm going to touch on briefly the update to the PPP, that's the SBA loan program, Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness update. They announced an update. We did a brief blog on it with some links to the new application, but I just want to show everybody where that's at and just touch on it briefly. So again, this is our second installment. Last week, for those who are interested, you can watch the webinar from last week on my IHRM. All of our webinars are posted. This is our third month webinars, and you can go back and view all those. Those webinars are available on my HRM again. First webinar, we talked a little bit about business planning and owner compensation structure. Bob actually covered from more of a client viewpoint on what it looks like to start a 401k program with Integrity HR. Today, again, Bob's going to focus more on what does it look like from an employee side to enroll into the program. October 21st, we're going to touch on Mary, our controller, is going to touch on internal financial controls for small businesses. And then I believe Lone Star National Bank is going to cover some personal banking topics for our employee side. So October 28th, we're going to dig into cash flows. ABIP is going to cover the PPP loan, some carryback provisions, and R&D tax credits. So with that, I will let Bob take it from there and give everybody a review of Slavic 401k. Thanks, Bob.
All right, thank you so much, Jason. My name is Bob. I'm a retirement plan advisor with Slavic 401k. So today we're going to be going through the enrollment process. So what it's going to look like for you all to enroll into your 401k plan. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to slavic401k.com. Once you get here to the website, you're going to come right into the center and you're going to see Enroll Now. You could also go up top and select Enroll, but we're just going to go here and choose Enroll Now. And then we're going to be asked for our social and our date of birth. So I'll go ahead and enter that in, and we'll continue to the next screen. Your name and your company name will already appear as during the onboarding process with your company onto the Integrity HR 401k plan. We've imported also your company name. You'll just have to enter in a personal and work email. Next, you're going to go ahead and enter a mobile phone number. If you only have one email, you only have to enter that. I would just ask for you to enter that twice. And then down below, we'll have a preferred email contact. So it can either be personal or work. We'll select continue. We will have preset pre-tax options, 8, 10, or 12%. But maybe you want to do another amount that's not up there. So we're going to select other, and we'll come down here and we'll put in the percentage that we would like to contribute. And I'm going to do 2% pre-tax and 2% Roth. So I'll have a total of 4% coming out each pay period. All right, so now we know the total amount, 4%, is going to be coming out of our paycheck. We'll select continue. And next we're going to go over choosing investments. All right, so in the plan, there are 3 different hands-off options, and there's a self-directed option, of course. So one of the first options is the bespoke managed portfolio. So this is a digital advisor that Slavic 401k is a fiduciary on. Not only does this help you choose your investment allocations based on a risk assessment test, we're also going to help you with your contribution rate. So I know we just chose a contribution rate, but if you come in here, you're going to enter in some information with your salary, and then you're going to come in here and enter in your current savings, when you plan on retiring, and what percentage you would like to replace of your salary. And what's going to happen is we're going to get a suggested contribution rate, okay? I skipped over the risk assessment test. It's pretty self-explanatory, but they're recommending we contribute 14%. We can always come in and make changes to that if needed, all right? But basically that's telling us how much we're going to have based on historical returns. So the bespoke is a hands-off option. It's going to help you choose the investment allocations and your contribution rates. But let's go over to the next option, which would be the pre-allocated portfolios. So we have the conservative, moderate, and aggressive portfolios. The risk tolerance does not change over time. So maybe you are an individual who doesn't want to take on too much risk. You just want to stay in a conservative position. You can come in and choose this option. The last hands-off option is actually underneath self-directed. Not to add confusion, but basically we have the target date asset allocation funds underneath self-directed because Slavic is not a fiduciary on these funds, but these are completely hands-off. So you're going to see a number of funds in increments of 5 years. That year is your expected retirement year. All right, so you would just take your age, maybe you're 40 years old and you want to work until you're 70. That's 30 more years from today. It's going to bring us to the 2050 fund. We're going to put 100% into that 2050 fund as it's fully diversified. And gradually, as we get closer to that 2050 year, our risk is going to decrease as we're not wanting to take on a large amount of risk when we're about to retire and take the money out. So that's completely hands-off. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that target date fund closest to the year I plan on retiring. Next, we're going to want to enter in beneficiary information. So if something were to happen to us, where would that money go? Now, legally, you are required to have your spouse's information entered. If you do not want your spouse as a beneficiary, call into Slavic 401k at 800-356-3009, and we can give you a form that your spouse would need to sign and have that notarized and send it in to us, and you can put whoever you want. If you are married and you and your spouse have a child, you can go ahead and enter your spouse's information. If something were to happen to both you and your spouse, then that would go fully to your child. If you have 2 children, 50-50, etc. So spouse is always going to be primary, and then child is contingent. Okay. If you're not married, you can really put whoever you want down there. Next, we're going to go through and just confirm all the information we've entered so far is accurate, especially those emails. It can be easy to forget our password. If we know which email we've used, it's very simple to reset that password. We have the target date fund 2050. Okay, so that's right around the time we plan on retiring. And 4%. So that entire 4% will go into that target retirement 2050 fund. And then we have our spouse's information. And you can see here there's edit button. So if we need to make an edit, just go ahead and select edit. Final page is the authorization page. So here we're authorizing Integrity HR to start deducting that 4% from our paycheck when we become eligible. And for Integrity HR to remit those contributions to Slavic 401k and to be invested via Fidelity into that Vanguard Target Date 2050 fund. Okay. There is a weekly email announcement each Friday. Our CEO, John Slavic, sends out market commentary, your account balance, and if that balance is increased or decreased as of the prior week. A lot of participants like to receive that and see what's going on in their account. If you don't want to receive that, just uncheck this box. But I do like to see that, so I would keep that checked. Last but not least, copy and paste the signature ID into the open field below. Once you click submit, you are now enrolled into the plan. You will receive an email confirmation at exactly how much you enrolled at, your beneficiaries, your investment allocations, and exactly what time you enrolled, and you can keep that for your records. After you have enrolled, and if your plan is in effect, you can go log in. So we'd go back, don't have to log in, of course, but this is just to have an overview of your account. We would go back to slavic401k.com, select login, sign up for online account access, enter in the last 5 of our social, date of birth, and zip code. And from there, we're going to create our username and password, set some security questions and answers, and then we will be able to log in to where we can make changes to contribution rates, investments, pull reports, etc. Last item that I'll cover, and then I'll turn it back over to you, Jason. If any of you are looking to maybe project out how much you may have in retirement, before you even enroll, you can come down to the bottom of our website, click on Retirement Path Calculator, and you can enter in a monthly deferral amount. If your company has a match, you can enter in what that match would be, your annual income, liquid net worth, any passive income that you may have, and when you plan on retiring. And then we're going to go to income replacement goal. So the IRS recommends you replace your salary, so $80,000 by 70%, but maybe you only want to do 65%. And then your date of birth. And then once we click submit, we're going to see that we're on path to have just over $1 million. And our goal is to have a little over 3 million, okay? So you can come around and change these numbers and project out how much you would have. So a lot of folks do like to use that retirement path calculator. And of course, if you have any questions, always reach out to Slavic 401k to speak with a customer service rep or a licensed advisor if you do have any questions. Again, our number is 800-356-3009. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to you, Jason. So if you want to take back over, you can go ahead and start sharing your screen again.
Thanks, Bob. A couple questions for you. Well, really just kind of one question. If you could kind of fill us in. If an employee comes in with a rollover, a 401k that they had with another employer, is that something that they could roll over into their Slavic 401k account?
That is. So they can roll over a 401k, a 457 plan, a pre-tax IRA. They wouldn't be able to roll over a Roth IRA. But if you would like to roll over a prior plan, just reach out to Slavic again. We're going to give you a form to take to your prior plan administrator. And that form will tell them exactly where to send the check. And then once we receive that check, we'll go ahead and process it. and funded into your account. One last thing, Jason, I'm just realizing now that that rollover form is actually on the website. So right back where we chose Retirement Path Calculator, there's going to be a link that says Forms. So you can actually download that rollover form so you don't have to call in or anything like that, as that form is at the bottom of our website to roll over any prior plan balances.
And just to close off here, I just wanted to briefly touch on for our clients who have went through the PPP loan process. Some of them maybe have even went through the forgiveness process where the loan is forgiven through the SBA program. Recently, last week, the SBA issued new guidance and a new, simpler form for the loan forgiveness process. It's a new, the rules have not been completely promulgated, but the application is available on sba.gov. For those of you that were involved in this early on, this website probably became very familiar to you, the SBA, U.S. Small Business Administration website. If you click here, where it says click here, you can see the application form 3508S is available. Most of these application timing, everything is going to be driven by your bank. So you are going to hear from your bank. If you have not yet, they're going to kind of trigger this process for you. But as you can see here, the loan is a two-pager. The loan application is a two-pager. Pretty straightforward. Back on the, if you go back to the website, there's also a link to the instructions on how to complete that. You're going to need some information. Many of our clients have already reached out and obtained the payroll information they needed, but please reach out to us if you have not yet, and we will make sure we get you that payroll information. Essentially, the other change is they've made it much simpler for loans that are less than $50,000. So if you borrowed less than $50,000, the process is very straightforward, very simple process. You should definitely consult with your bank, your accountant, and let us know if you need any information from a payroll perspective. We'd be happy to provide that to you. So with that, I want to thank everybody for attending. I just want to, let me close that out. Just remind you that next week, the 21st, we will have our third installment of the financial webinar at 2 p.m. Again, we're covering financial controls for small businesses and personal banking with Lone Star National Bank. So thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you back here next week.